Hello, collective. It's your girl Jamila Newman, aka Mila. If you know, you know. All right, I did a reading earlier for my TikTok channel, and it was talking about the twin flame journey. There is a need for certain twin flames to get a sign on whether or not they should come forward or what they should do. They're looking for signs from their counterparts, and I wanted to go ahead and do a separate reading because it seems like anything that has to do with love for the collective, the messages are trying, they're being interfered with. Your phones will go wacky or your camera will shut off and things like that. So I usually don't do a focus on those things, but we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to talk about it a little bit while we do this read. Okay? So when I have readings like that, I know that the counterpart is in the state of fear. And you got to remember that everything that we have that happens with the collective has to do with lessons and tests, okay? We are tested on those things like fear. You need to be able to overcome fear despite of no matter what the outcome is. You need to be able to push forward and do what you feel. Trust your instinct, trust your gut. If you love someone, you tell them. If you don't do something because you're afraid of it, you failed the test and it turns into a lesson. Okay? And there's a lot for the collective that there's a lot of emphasis on insecurity and love. That's what came out. That's what I want to focus on anyway, so we're going to talk about it because it seems like it needs to be talked about. There's a lot of insecurities with the masculines, some insecurities with the feminine energies when it comes to this twin flame journey, if you're on one, or soulmate journeys in general. Because the collective has such a shining light and their counterparts equally do also have this shining light, the opposing parties, those that do not want to see light shined on this world, that want to have negative, they like the world the way it is, okay? And if you are listening to this reading and you like the world the way it is and you want to just maintain the status quo and live in a state of settling, then do so. That is your prerogative. I like to, remind people everybody has free will. It isn't, the twin flame soulmate connection has nothing to do with you no longer controlling yourself. It is understanding that there was someone out there that understands you on a soul level. What that means is they see the light, they see the dark, they see the shadows in you and still love you regardless. So the unconditional love has been taken out of society. It was more of a focus on what you can get from a relationship versus what a relationship should be, which is an evil people want that kind of relationship to last because people are not happy, and darkness thrives on unhappiness, on fear, on anxiety, on jealousy, on lust. That's how it feeds. And unconditional love, there is no feeding that. You're not feeding the shadow side, you're feeding the light. And I'm not saying there's always going to be moments of, light all the time, but no, there's an equal balance. And right now the scales are tipped towards the shadow and rebalancing out where there's even light and dark energy. Okay? So we have the World card and Temperance. So to achieve this wholeness is what the World card is talking about. You have to have this balance, this temperance energy, okay? This sense of peace. And when you hide your feelings, when you run from your feelings due to fear, that if you have the urge to run, you need to heal that. You need to see exactly what is it that you're so afraid of. Okay. And then when you look at it, you figure out exactly, hey, this has always happened to me. I've been in this relationships over and over again, and the person always does this X, Y, and Z. And because I'm afraid that this person is going to do the same thing, you tend to run from it. Okay. Now your options are to continue on that pattern, on no longer on settling for something that you know is less and dealing with that, or going for what you would like. Now, will you get it? That depends on the circumstances, but if you don't take the steps towards that, you'll never find the answer. Okay? The insecurities, that means you still have healing to do. Everybody in the collective has insecurities. Everybody has insecurities. It is, are you willing to take the steps? Are you willing to do the work to move past those insecurities, or are you just going to stay? This is the Queen of Swords energy, and that is the collective. The collective is trying to move forward, cut through the BS, and continue to be in this Queen of Cups energy. Continue to love, continue to be open, honest, with a unconditional give and take. Now, if their counterpart is unable to do that, then that means that they move on and get another counterpart. Okay? There's the Ace of Swords comes out. The truth revealed. Okay? The truth of the matter is, people hold themselves back. Star and the Three of Swords. People are holding themselves back from their light, from the possibility of happiness by settling. They're making excuses of possibilities. They're sitting on what if island. I like to call it what if island. What if this person, what if he or she says no? And that's all they're stuck on. But they don't realize that on what if island there is also what if he or she says yes. If you don't take the risk, you will not have the reward. In business, people take risks. They may fail, but they get up and they take another risk. And then one time they take that risk and they get the positive outcome. Now, it is a matter of the positive outweighing the negative. Would you rather sit and settle, or would you rather have that possibility of happiness? The love energy is so heavy. Oh my gosh, here we go. We got the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Lovers cards. Okay, there is a determination for success when it comes to this love. Okay, and you have to either be willing to take that risk and experience something you've never experienced before, because we as a collective have had false relationships introduced to in our lives, our whole lives. We've been trained based on these things. Okay, and now that we've gone through these healing processes to move forward, to love ourselves, we have learned that we don't need to seek this from outside of ourselves. Okay, now we can love ourselves and we're just as content. But then you throw in a partner that also loves themselves, also knows themselves, and you join that together. That is a force to be reckoned with, and that is why these love messages and these positive love messages are not heard very often, or if they're heard, they're not complete. Okay, there is going to be insecurities amongst the collective when it comes to love, because that was the intended purpose of all these false relationships being introduced into your life. They don't want you to trust love, because love is the most powerful thing. They want that to be abandoned. They want it to be at this Ten of Wands. They want you to move forward and not have that. Now, you're strong and you're a force to be reckoned with, by yourself, collective, and you are welcome to do it by yourself. But if you do find that partner that you can have this success with, this Six of Wands, it will be an unstoppable force. And those that don't want that in society are definitely not wanting those words to be heard. So if you are healing that part of you, that part that is understanding that you deserve and are deserving of unconditional love, if you are still healing that, then you also know that it's just something that you need to work on. But is it possible that, this is just my theory, okay? Is it possible that there's just a part of this portion of your story is healing this part, is something that's needed for two people to do together? Most of this collective has had to do solo lessons, but the love lesson isn't something that can be done. The Magic card, the Magician card, can be done completely on your own. Not saying that you can't love yourself, but there is a dynamic of learning to appreciate and receive, not just be the giver. When you're growing up and always being the giver, and you get into relationship after relationship of only giving and never receiving love, the only way that there is a possibility of you to heal that portion and know that you've healed from that portion is to be open to a loving relationship. Does that make sense? The Queen of Wands, creativity, joy, and passion, and then the Sun card. There you go. It's like nail on the head. Okay, your creativity, your joy, your love, your sunshine, everything about you is already on point. So a relationship is not going to solidify you. It is not going to make you anything. It is just going to be something that you can add to what you already are going to get. Because the new beginning is yours. It is yours. You've done the work. But love, an opportunity to have community that you love, to have friendship, this Ten of Cups with the Strength and the Page of Wands, this is a new spark, okay? You're strong enough, you're capable enough to be able to take on friends, community, and with an equal give and take relationship. Friends, community, loved ones, equal give and take. It's coming towards you. It's not just, success in business, success in family. It's success in your overall life. So you need to remain balanced and open to all of it, not just one portion, to all of it, because these are gifts that are being given to you because of your strength, because of your hard work. With this Page of Wands, you are going to receive these new elements into your life that you're not used to, and it's going to spark new creative ideas, new skills. You're already, sparking new ideas left and right, and it's just going to overflow with more. Just be open for the possibility of being able to meet counterparts, both romantically, friendship wise, your soul family, that are able to give to you as well as receive. It's going to be an unconditional love on both ends, not just on one, which is what you're used to. So we get wrapped up in that fear, even when you're fearing meeting someone, and there's a fear of a repeat of the old cycle on both counterparts' ends. So that's something that is going to be a work that needs to be done on both ends. Ace of Cups and Temperance. Did I just say? I think I did. I had the Hierophant card here. The wholeness of spirit and creativity. My bad. Anyway, earlier. So you're going to get new love, new balance. The love that you had experienced before is not the same because it wasn't whole. It wasn't complete. It wasn't an equal give and take. It can't compare to what you are about to receive. So don't be scared of what is to come because it's unknown. Don't fall back on those old habits of, not thinking that it's coming towards you, because it's coming. Get ready. Final words for the collective. What do we need to know? Time apart. Waiting, spark, transparency. So there was a need for some of you in the collective to have this time apart from a counterpart, because there's lessons that needed to be learned on your own in order to spark the understanding that there needs to always be full transparency. There's no more room going forward into this new world, this new way of life, with secrets. Full transparency. So if people are not ready to give 110%, if not their all, okay, that's what I mean. If you're not ready to give your all, then don't come forward. But if you're open and you care for someone and you want to have a relationship with them, twin flame signs, then conquer that fear. Our love is real. Someone has a message for the collective. And there's just, ooh, what was that? Yeah. Doubt. There's a need to get over the doubt, because the whispered doubts have always been a part of tests and all other aspects of our journey. This is just another one to get over. Another mountain to climb to get to the other side. You're blessed. And that's it, collective. Hopefully that helps someone get a little bit of clarity, get a little bit of understanding that sometimes there's a part of our paths that line up with other people's paths. And yes, you can do this all on your own. You don't need it. But some people are destined to be together, and it's going to happen one way or another, because you're blessed. Until next time, keep shining. Shine so bright, you piss everyone off.